Happy Wednesday, everyone. This is Les Swartz, and you are checking out Swartz Talkin Sports, where it is the fan show. This is for you. The guests are for you. Just shoot us some questions. We love to have the viewers participate. If this is your first time checking out the show, please subscribe, hit the like button, and please comment. Let us know what you want to see. We're going to do our best to deliver it to you. So we got a little bit of a different opening tonight. I want to first bring on one of my co-hosts, the voice of the Florida A&M Rattlers broadcast with Melvin Beal in football and basketball, and also was a national championship quarterback in 1978. Let's bring in our man from Jacksonville, Al the Rattler Chester.
What's going on, Les? How you doing, buddy? Happy hump day, man. We got a lot of rain here in Jacksonville, Florida, but we're staying inside, man, and enjoying the festivities inside.
Yeah, we love that background. We love the Rattler background. Seriously, bro.
Is there any doubt?
There is no doubt, my man. There is no doubt. Now, before we bring in tonight's guest and we really start kicking off the show, we got to start it with an incredible, it's somber. I mean, some sad stuff going on. First in the world of sports, the hockey world rocked last week. Tragedy, 7-time All-Star, 11 seasons in the NHL. Columbus Blue Jackets forward Johnny Gaudreau and his brother Matthew, biking in New Jersey, got run down by an unfortunate, looks like a drunk driver trying to pass another car. They were killed instantly, 31 and 29 years old. You lost a brother, a husband, a son, a cousin, a dad. It's tragic in the world of sports. And Swartz Talkin Sports sends out our condolences to the Gaudreau family and friends of Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau. So that was a real tough one in the hockey world. And then today, I didn't even know this, Al. You let me know about this in the pre-production meeting. There was a shooting in Atlanta, which took the lives of some teachers and children. And, again, what do you always say about this? It's a tough thing.
I tell you what, man, every day is a gift, man. And again, our condolences to the families up in Atlanta, everybody who was affected by this tragedy, and obviously the two hockey brothers who were killed by a drunk driver, man. That's a sad deal, man. So tragic, so sad.
It is.
God bless their souls.
It is. So we'll be thinking of them. But we got a great show tonight. We got a lot of content, right? We're going to be talking, it's the first weekend of NFL football tomorrow night. You got the Chiefs and the Ravens kicking it off. But to start it out, let's bring on somebody who knows the NFL pretty good, Al. This guy played in the Super Bowl, member of the Washington Redskins. He played in the NFL, also a little bit in the USFL. So we're going to pick his brain on who he thinks are going to get to the Super Bowl this year. And also, we're going to talk a little bit about his career. So let's bring on former Washington Redskin. Yep, that's right. Redskins, Fred Dean. Fred.
Hey, Big Fred. How you feel, man?
He must be feeling pretty good because I don't see him.
We can't see you, but we can hear you, man. So
I can't hear anything. Again, this is, wow, technical difficulties kicking off tonight's show.
Hit that video on your phone and see if it pops up.
Is there a black cloud hovering over us today? I want to know, guys, what's going on with tonight? I was all hyped to do tonight's show. What's happening? Don't know what we got. Oh, there he is.
There we go. There we go.
Fred. Do we have you?
Yes, I see the both of y'all very well.
Houston, we got a splashdown. We got a Fred Dean sighting right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, well, Fred, let's get this show going while we got an opportunity, man. Look here, you're Super Bowl champ, man. You're from Gainesville, Florida originally. Talk to us about how it all started for you, man. From your childhood, what other sports did you play, and how you ended up at Texas Southern, and so forth?
Well, I'll say this right here, that I really didn't play any other sports besides football. I started just like everybody else in flag football at the Boys Club in Gainesville. And they went to junior high school, then high school at Gainesville High. Had an opportunity to go to the University of Florida, Florida State. When I started to come to Texas Southern University, I wanted to go to HBCU. My brother, Edgar Dean, he went to Bethune-Cookman. So I fell in love with the HBCU. And when Dr. Rod Payston called me from Texas Southern, I jumped on it.
Well, I got to say, Bethune-Cookman, hold on. Hey, if I'm right, isn't that the school that Larry Little played at, Bethune-Cookman?
Yes, it is. And I met Larry Little because my first training camp was with the Miami Dolphins.
Okay.
So Larry Little really took me up under his wings.
Oh.
So I owe a lot to him because he showed me a lot of little small techniques that I needed to work out of college. And I think that helped me very well when I was in pro football.
Now, Fred,
when you were
go ahead.
Fred, when you were at Texas Southern, you obviously played with some great guys. Do you remember some of the guys that you played with that also got a chance to play in the league? I mean, back then, Texas Southern, those Tigers were booming it up in black college football.
Well, I really have two great friends that I played with. One was Melvin Baker. Melvin Baker played wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins. Okay. And another one was Mike Holmes. We call him Rookie. You know, he played wide receiver for the San Francisco 49ers. So, you know, going there, that helped me out quite a bit. You know, we had a lot of guys going from there. We had another young man. His name was Charles Fillion. We called him 6'9" because he was about 6'10". He was a Raiders draft choice for the Oakland Raiders.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
I remember Charles Fillion because it was him and Ed Too Tall Jones at one time were the two tallest players in the NFL. And it was like, who was taller, Charles or Ed? But back then, you know, Fred, we give a lot of love to the HBCUs. You know, Al calls the A&M games. We have an HBCU game of the week. Back when you were playing at Texas Southern, so many players coming out of HBCU schools getting drafted. Back then, I know there was 17 rounds in the NFL draft. It's not like it was today, but so many players come out of HBCU schools to make impacts right away in the pro game. You ended up with the Chicago Bears, I believe, right out of Texas Southern. What got you to the Redskins? I know Jack Pardee was coaching back then. Did he reach out and grab you?
Yes, he was. He was coaching the Chicago Bears, and I was a free agent at that. And he asked me, you know, when he got that head coaching job with the Washington Redskins, he said, Fred, I would like for you to come because my offensive line coach at the time went to the Redskins.
Okay.
So that's how I really got to the Redskins. And I wanted to go there because my offensive line coach and Jack went to the Washington Redskins. As y'all know, Jack Pardee played about 15 years for the Washington Redskins.
Over the Hill Gang
He
with
did.
George Allen.
Yes.
And I got a chance to play with them. My first season there with the Redskins, with Darren Talbot. You know, he was still there. We had another young man we called our quarterback. We called him Whiskey, which is old, but I guess what? He could throw that football. But the young man that was coming along at that time was Joe Theismann.
Yep.
And, you know, he was from Notre Dame.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We know Joe Theismann on this show. We got some Notre Dame guys. We got some people out there that are big Golden Domers. Joe Gibbs comes in, and, boy, that thing gets turned around pretty quickly. Tell us a little bit about playing for Coach Gibbs. You know, I don't know. Al always says it starts up front. It always starts up front, and you guys had the Hogs.
That's right. When Joe Gibbs came in, you know, Joe Gibbs came in, I have to give it to him. He wanted to throw that football around. All right. But we went to him and we told him, I said, man, we are running football team. All right. We in the NFC East. You know, when we got to play the Giants, the Cowboys, all right, you know, we run the football. Because the Cowboys at that time, they had Tony Dorsett. We had the Big John Regan, which we call the Diesel.
Diesel.
All right. And so our first 2 or 3 ball games, we lost. Joe Gibbs came to us. He said, fellas, what do we need to do? We said, we need to run the football. And that's what we started doing. And so we started controlling all the football games about running the football. And we had a great offensive line. I played with a Hall of Famer in Russ Grimm. He went into the Hall of Fame. We had Joe Jacoby at left tackle. I was starting at right guard. We had another young man, Jeff Bostic. He was at center. And George Stark, well, we call him Papa Hall. He was the oldest one at the time at right tackle.
Nice.
So, you know, we had a pretty good offensive line, and we was able to control the ball a lot. So what happened was when you run the ball a lot, which means what? The safety's got to come up, all right?
Play
which means
action.
the receiver was running wide open.
Al,
That's
you
right.
like
And
that?
you're eating up a lot of clock as well.
Oh, man, we averaged about 36 minutes a game. Think about that. We controlled the ball for about 36 minutes a game. That was one of our goals, too. Joe Gibbs had that up on the board. If we can control the ball for 35 minutes a game, we're going to stand 90% chance we're going to win. And it happened.
Now, I'm just curious. From my memory, I'm just trying to jog this. Was Joe Bugle the offensive line coach?
Yes, he was. And you know, Joe Bugle came from Houston, where they had the big Earl Campbell, when they was running the football. Okay? So he was the offensive line coach here with the Houston Oilers at that time. And now they named and changed to the Houston Texans.
The Houston
Now,
Texans.
Fred, now, folks don't know, the layperson don't quite understand. Run blocking and pass blocking is two different things. Explain the difference between the two for our viewers.
Well, you have to really have a good hat placement and arm placement when you're really running the football, okay? And we were pretty good at that. You know, pass blocking, man, you got to really set up real quick and take on your man real quick, or you're going to get run over because you got to know them big defensive tackles be coming in quite a bit. And we had two pretty good guys on Redskins that can really rush the pass, which one was Dexter Manley and Charles Mann. All right, those guys were pretty good at the defensive end, and we had Big Dave Buss. A lot of folks don't remember Big Dave Buss, but Dave Buss was about 340, sitting in the middle, anchoring it down.
Yeah, I was going to say, they fed him well at Purdue back in the day, it looks like, right?
Oh, yes. I mean, he was a big fella, and he taught me a lot, you know, because he was there with the George Allen days.
Mm-hmm. I got a question.
Fred, I tell you what,
go ahead, Al.
Go ahead. No, I was just going to, Fred, all those are big body guys, man. I mean, so were you the small guy at guard? I mean, how big were you at your max playing days? My
max playing day, I was 278. Okay. All right? I'm going to tell you now, we had a small line because Jeff Boston, our center, he wasn't no more than about 253. Now, Russ Graham was about 275. George Starr really wasn't no more than about 260. But Jacoby, our left tackle, he was 6'8", about 300 pounds. So he was the first 300-pound offensive lineman that we had for the Redskins.
Okay. Now, Fred, we do have questions. We got live viewers out here. Our subscribers are checking out. The green light is on, which means the green light is we've got a question for our guest. So we've got Joni, our amazing chat girl. She's going to relay the question to you. Hopefully you can hear it on your end and you can give the answer. So, Joni, let's get on with the questions for our special guest, Fred Dean.
All right. One of our viewers, Stu Detlefson, he wants to know how good was... Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
How good was John Riggins?
Yes.
How good was John Riggins?
Man, that was the diesel. You know, we got John Riggins for the New York Jets, okay? John Riggins, a lot of folks didn't realize John Riggins was 250 pounds, wow. All right?
Whoa.
Now, but when John Riggins came out of high school, he was the 100-meter champion running, okay, from Kansas. All right. So when we got him, he was pretty good size, really and truly. And then when you got a 250-pound fullback hitting up in there, along with us, our thing was stay on your man. As long as you stay on your man, they weren't going to arm tackle John Riggins. You couldn't arm tackle him because he was very strong and very powerful coming up in there.
Well, now, we probably have some more questions, but I wanted to throw one at you, my own personal thing. You went up against, and the Hogs went up against, as you said, the NFC East. They had a tremendous defensive line, the Dallas Cowboys did, and one of the guys that I wanted to get your take on him, they called him the Manster. You know who I'm talking about, Randy White.
You talking about Randy White?
Randy White. I mean, what was it about this guy? Because he wasn't a big, giant guy. He wasn't 290, 300-pounder, but was he just super quick? What made him so difficult to block one-on-one?
Well, you got to remember now, when he came into the league, he was a linebacker.
Yep.
All right? Yep. So the Cowboys put him on the line. You know, he was very quick. But you know what we did with the Redskins? We ran right at him, okay? And we had got, I'm gonna be honest, we got cocky. And we would tell Randy White, Randy, we coming right here. We coming right here. And we ran right at him. The big guy on that line was Dutton, okay? Mm-hmm. He was the big guy on the Dallas Cowboy line, along with Ed Too Tall Jones. Now, I had a little scrimmage with Too Tall because, as you know, he comes from Tennessee State.
Yep.
All right? So I got a chance to play against him when he was at Tennessee State and I was at Texas Southern. So I was very familiar with Ed Too Tall Jones. All right? I don't think they had him because he was props down in that stand, and he really couldn't get up out of that stand very well, okay, the type of technique that they was playing. So we was able to get on him pretty good, but the guy on that line was Randy White. And you know what? We said, you know what, Randy? We know you the guy, but we coming right at you, all right? And we had a center that from Clemson, Jeff Boston. I have to give Boston credit. Boston was very cocky. But guess what? He handled him very well. If you go back and check out our films, Randy White didn't do very much against us because we ran straight at him and Big Dutton.
All right. Well, we got some more questions.
That's
for
the way.
you.
That's the way to do it. Run at him, not away from him.
Well, I was going to say, if you run away from Randy White, his lateral pursuit would be so great that it wouldn't make sense. So to negate him, just smash mouth right down the middle on him, right? I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
You know, we averaged about 160 to 170 yards a game running against the Dallas Cowboys. What does that mean? We're controlling the clock. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing that Joe Gibbs wants to receive. We go 35 minutes or above controlling the clock. Most of our games, we control the clock on the team.
Well, let's go to a few more questions. I think Joni's got a few, I think.
Yes.
So let's have a few more questions for tonight's special guest, former Washington Redskin Fred Dean.
Okay, so I want to read one comment from Barry Smith. He says, Texas Southern is hard-nosed football. Good practice for going into the NFL.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't know Barry was a expert in Texas Southern football, but okay, we'll go with it. We have another question?
Yes, from Barry, actually. Okay. So I wanted to read the comment first, and he wants to know about Theismann, Joe Theismann.
What about Joe Theismann?
Well, we kept Joe Theismann kind of under guard. You know, we would tell him, man, because we would tell him certain plays to call. We really did, and he learned to go with those plays. We'll tell him where we want to run the football, and we'll let him know, now, if you don't run this football here, we're going to let you get hit. All right? So Theismann, we told him to call, and we had a play called 40 and 50 gut, right up the middle. We wanted to control everything in the middle of the defensive line, okay? And we was able to do that. But I will tell y'all this. We had one team, the New York Giants, that had a young man named Lawrence Taylor. I don't know if y'all remember him. He was a monster, okay, on that outside. That's the team that was really, really tough to run the football against, was the New York Giants.
Yeah, we know him well, don't we?
Oh, we know him very well. I tell you what, Fred, you guys did the magical run in 1992 with the Super Bowl run. Just give us some snippets of your memories of the Super Bowl season.
Well, I'm going to start off with the strike season.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
Now, what we didn't do, we all stayed together and worked out together. A lot of teams split up that year that we had the strike, okay? But we stayed and practiced. That's one thing I would give Joe Theismann credit for. We was able to keep the whole team there, and we practiced every day. So when we came back off that strike, we was ready. A lot of folks was going all over the country, but our guys, we stayed together. And I contributed that we worked out together every single day. Kept going over our plays. So when the strike was over, we was together, and we didn't lose. We came back. We were still on the same count. We didn't have no problem running the football or throwing the football, and we went to the Super Bowl and beat the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, you did. You beat him. You beat him pretty handily in the second half. But talk about when John Riggins trucked Don McNeil going around the outside. It was like choo choo, and he ran him over. What do you got? What's your remembrance of that play that Riggins took down McNeil and took it to the house?
Well, I remember that play extremely well because that was our 40 gut and 50 gut. And what happened now, we had two more plays we called 60 and 70 outside. Okay. Well, we coming off tackle. And when you think about now, John Riggins, 250 pounds, man. You look how small McNeil is. You just don't run up on John Riggins like that. Okay? John Riggins trucked him. But I would say this right here. That play, if you ever go back and watch it, it was blocked perfectly. Ain't nobody missed a block on that play on 70 outside. Nobody missed a block. Everybody was blocked on that play. It was one man. And we told John, you got one man to beat. And we knew who that was going to be. It was going to be that little cornerback. Nope, we never thought a little cornerback going to tackle John Riggins coming out there at that head of steam. So when he trucked him, that was it. And we knew that. So we all was running down there because that play was blocked perfectly.
Yeah.
A perfect block play. Everybody on the old line, even the fullback, got his block. It was only one man left. That was McNeil. So we told John, you got it. And he said, I got him. So when he came up in it, John Riggins trucked him. And didn't even slow down. Kept on going.
Now, you know what? I
that
wish
was
we
the
had
turning point of the game.
Well, I wish we had. I didn't set up Tony, our producer, who runs awesome reels, and I wish I had given him the reel of that run because it was pretty awesome, and it pretty much sealed the win for the Redskins in that game. But we've got a few minutes left. What I want to do, and thankfully, we got your video and your audio great because you've been awesome. I want to get your analyst hat on, Fred, this year. We got the NFL season opening up tomorrow. You got the defending Super Bowl champ Kansas City against Baltimore. Who's going to come out of the AFC and why, and who's going to come out of the NFC and why?
I'll say this right here. Until Patrick Mahomes lead the NFL, Kansas City going to be hard to beat.
Yep.
All right? Some of y'all, I'm hoping my best for that young man up there in Baltimore to win a championship. I think he deserves Lamar. All right? But it might be a surprise to everybody. And, I think the Detroit Lions, don't y'all sleep on them Lions up there in Detroit. They ready, okay? I understand San Francisco, but Detroit got one of the best offensive lines in the league. Yep. Watch out for them Lions up there. They are coming. They're knocking on the door. Only thing they got to do is just kick it in.
Al, that's your thing, kick in the door. So, Fred, are you telling me right now that the Detroit Lions are going to make it to the Super Bowl finally?
I believe the Detroit Lions are going to make it to the Super Bowl.
Wow.
They got everything in place to get there. They got outstanding wide receivers, running backs. Mm-hmm. But let me say this right here. They got a great defensive line. When you got your linemen in place, a lot of folks don't realize it's one down front with them big balls that we call the big uglies. They don't get a lot of publicity, but you can't go nowhere without them boys up front, pass blocking and run blocking. All right? And what that does, right. That gives your defense a lot of rest. So they fresh when they come on the field. Yeah. And that's what you want. So look out for the Detroit Lions. I'm telling you, y'all need to watch out for them. They were knocking on the door last year. I think they're going to kick it in.
Al, the offensive lineman no one might know who they are, but they're certainly making a lot of money these days, aren't they? Trent Williams just signed. He's making some big money.
Man,
you're
Trent
absolutely
Williams,
right.
probably the best offensive tackle in football, and the 49ers know it, and he know it too. The brother, you know what now? The Redskins at that time, that was one of the biggest mistakes they ever made, letting him go.
Yeah.
All right?
Fred, what
best offensive tackle in football go. They haven't really been able to recover from letting him go. All right?
You're right.
They knew the 49ers going to sign him. They weren't, man, look here. They need to to protect Brock Purdy blind side. And you know what? You can go to sleep at night very easily knowing that Trent Williams is there playing that left tackle. Because he awesome.
Fred, talk about his skill set, though. What makes him, for the lay person who's listening, what makes him that great tackle that you're talking about? What kind of skills does he have? He's a big guy. He obviously got long hands, but talk about his skill set. What does he do so well that makes him the best in the business?
Footwork. He got great footwork. When I talk to young players, I talk about that all the time. What separated a lot of good offensive linemen, like myself, I jump rope a lot. Okay? Mm-hmm. That gave me the quick feet you have. If you listen to Trent Williams, he jumped rope a lot. Okay? And he got great hand placement, which means what? He got great eyes. He know how to where he put his hands there. And once he gets his hands on you, look how big he is now. You ain't getting away from him. That's why he knew the 49ers was going to sign him. And he needed to be the highest paid offensive tackle. Because he is the best. And watch his footwork. For offensive lineman, your footwork tells a lot about what type of lineman you're going to be. I got a young man, and I went to the ball game on Saturday from Perryview. I kept telling him, get on your jump rope. Don't sleep on that. Because when I used to watch Muhammad Ali jump that rope, that really helped me a lot. And I would tell any young lineman, if you want to get great foot, jump that rope. And man, I was jumping about 3,000 times a day on jump rope. Okay? From side to side and backing up. What that does, that keep you on your toes and ball of your feet at all times, which means what? You got to have balance. And that's what Trent Williams have. He have great balance and great footwork. Just watch it.
Al, the last time I jumped rope, I hurt my calf, so my jump roping days are over. Listen, we only got a couple more minutes here, but I do have a question. So Fred's saying it's going to be either Kansas City or Baltimore against the Detroit Lions. I know the people in Michigan are really, really happy you're predicting this, Fred. And by the way, we had a scout, Patrick Malarkey, on our show a couple months ago. And boy, he's done a great job getting some of that talent in Detroit. They got some great young players. To your point, Penny Sewell, offensive tackle, looks like he could be a future Hall of Fame stud at tackle right there. But let's get a question in for Fred before we let Fred go tonight.
Okay. Barry Smith wants to know Ricky's thoughts on the NIL, name, image, likeness.
Fred, your thoughts on what's going on with the NIL in college football in general?
I would tell you this right here. I wish we had it when we came along.
That's honest.
You know, the players getting paid, man. You know, and I love it. I'm going to be honest with you about that. You look at the type of money that these head coaches and these assistant coaches getting paid on the college level. And, you know, they wasn't paying none of the players. Okay? I would tell anybody, to have a great team, you got to have some great football players, okay? You got to go out and you got to recruit, all right? When I was at Howard University, we won 2 national championships. Everybody used to say, well, how did y'all win them championships at Howard University? And I would tell them, players. And I'll be honest with you, for about 10 years, I was one of the best recruiters in the nation. A lot of folks didn't know that. A lot of folks said, well, you cheating. No, I wasn't cheating. I had 2 states that I recruited, y'all. I recruited the state of Texas and the state of Florida. All right? That's where
That's
we
the
got
mecca of football.
Okay?
The mecca of football.
You hear what I say?
Yeah.
And that's how we won them championships at Howard University. If you go back and look at it, I would tell anybody, and guess who I recruited? I recruited offensive and defensive linemen. I knew where to go. I knew what to do. If I got in your home, I could say at Howard University in their academics, we didn't have the best facilities, but I tell you what, if a young man came there, he graduated. You understand what I'm saying? That's one thing I would promise them parents. I said, I can't tell if your son gonna play, but if he come here, I guarantee he gonna graduate. I'm gonna make sure of that. And guess what, fellas? I did not lose not one player from graduation.
Well,
hey, Fred, real quick, Fred. You spent a little time in the USFL with the Tampa Bay Bandits. Talk about that real quick and playing for Spurrier and that bunch down there, man.
Well, I feel like Spurrier was an offensive genius. Okay, man, he knew some offense, and I wanted to give it a chance to go down there and play because guess what? Down in Tampa, Tampa is only about 2 hours from my home in Gainesville. So that gave a chance for my mother to come watch me play at that particular time. And I did bring her up there to Washington a couple of times, but I wanted to play close to home so my brothers and sisters could see me play there down in Tampa. And I just felt like that league was going to take off and be good at that time. And it did. And look what done happened now. It done come back again for the second time around. Get some, and it's enough room and it's enough college football players for 2 leagues, really, when you look at it. It really is. Because everybody can't play in the NFL. So they need that other league there. Okay?
That's true. And
it might not pay as much, but it can give you a good start in life. All you got to do is save your money. And play down there and play well. And that USFL is a good league. Okay? And they got some real good football players there.
Well, Fred, listen, we are so glad, first of all, that the audio and the visual cleared up tonight. We were able to get you in. I know it's storming in Houston, so stay safe. We'd love to have you back again. You're refreshing. I want to hear your thoughts on the NFL as we get through the season and who you think's going to be making it up to those championship games, because you know it's going to be give and take sometimes. So we'd love to have you back again. We always support
I'd love to be back.
Yep, we always support HBCU. So Swartz Talkin Sports, thanks you so much. Have a great rest of the week. Enjoy the fall. We're going to be back with the HBCU Game of the Week with Al Chester. We'll be doing it after this.
Locals Tavern, Leland, North Carolina's favorite neighborhood bar, just south of the bridge where everyone truly does know your name, offers a variety of cold brews, wine, and specialty cocktails, and offers something for everyone on their food menu. With daily lunch specials and live evening entertainment, Locals is a hot spot you won't want to miss, where you can unwind in a casual atmosphere with friends, both old and new. High Tide Chiropractic, located in Leland, North Carolina, off Village Road. Dr. Levi Bradburn and his team specialize not only on spinal and extremities care, but also focus on sports injuries and a variety of chronic ailments. Treatment plans may include diet and lifestyle behavioral modification to achieve optimal health. Call us to schedule your free consultation, and we will design a personalized program to meet your needs. It's time to get the results you deserve.
Welcome back to Swartz Talkin Sports. I am your host, Les Swartz, the man in the middle, Al the Rattler Chester, voice of the Florida A&M Rattlers, football and basketball broadcast. And look who just popped into the right. Yeah, you got him, ladies and gentlemen.
Benny the Book.
Benny the
guys,
Book
how you
is
doing
back.
tonight?
Dude, tell me, was that energetic?
Fred was great. Fred was great, man. Brought back a lot of great memories of watching football when I was a kid. And that was when football was really, really, really tough. A lot of great memories brought back with some of the things Fred brought up. Real tough player.
Yeah.
Real tough guy.
Yeah, it was good. That was
high energy guy too. I mean,
yeah.
He's got an energy level that you can really appreciate. Even at his age now, you can only imagine what he was like back 30 years ago, man.
Yeah, we got to get him back.
Definitely.
We got to
We'll
hook and reel him back in, Al.
We'll
Okay,
get him
listen.
back. He'll be happy to come back.
We got HBCU Game of the Week. We're doing it every week. We had a good one last week. A lot of good things going on. It was on ESPN, big one. So, again, this week we've got the Savannah State Tigers. This is their first game of the year. They haven't played yet. They're playing against the Southern University Jaguars. Lost last week 21-6 to McNeese State, a good FCS program. By the way, Al, I think Southern might be the only team in Baton Rouge that has a winning record come the end of the year after what I saw out of LSU. But what can you tell us a little bit about, let's go with Savannah State first, Aaron Kelton's team. What do they got going for them and coming off a tough year last year?
Well, I'll tell you what, they did have a tough year last year, man, but they've a football team, I think, that they're trying to find their way. They're trying to feel their way through this thing. And, they struggled a little bit last year, but I think every year he's able to build put new bricks in that building he's trying to build down there. He got some good players. These schools too take advantage of the portal. They got kids come in, and they got some great skilled people. I tell you what, they're going to be a power to reckon with in the SIAC. Now they line up against Southern University, who's a SWAC opponent. We see them all the time. Terrence Graves is the head coach there. He's doing a super job. Southern actually should win this ball game. It's going to be live on HBCU Go, the gyro cable, but it should be a fantastic ball game. Week 2, game of the week. I'm excited about what we're going to see between these two teams.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm interested. They got a kid named Noah Bodden, a 6'4", 220 quarterback playing at Southern. Had a rough go of it last week. He looks like a kind of a dual threat kind of guy. So let's see what he does against Savannah State. By the way, who's alum of Shannon Sharp, a Savannah State player. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Savannah
Absolutely. I tell you what.
Well, now we go to Al's favorite segment, the Rattler recap. Your Rattlers 2-0.
Upset of the week. Upset of the week.
Hold on. We're going to tease that. We're going to tease that. But let's talk a little bit about last week's win, Al.
I tell you what, it's a big win. Played South Carolina State in Tallahassee, man, and they came ready to play. What a great ball game it was. The Rattlers just didn't seem to be able to get out of their own way. I mean, we struggled a little bit. We left about 17 points on the field, but great teams find a way to win. And I tell you what, we're going to be the hunted. FAMU is going to be the hunted team, defending national champs. They came in, South Carolina State came in, and I tell you what, they traveled well. They bought their band, had a full house in Tallahassee, and the folks got their money's worth. Our little quarterback, D-Rich, I call him D-Rich, Daniel Richardson. He's the player of the week again this week. He's a field general. He makes good decisions with the football. Again, through 3 touchdown passes, no picks, over 250 yards passing. But at the time he needs to lead the Rattler offense down the field, he finds a way to get that done, man. And I tell you what, even when he's extending the play, he does all the right things. He keeps his head up. He's looking downfield. He threw a couple of touchdowns like that. And then when it's not there, he'll throw it out of bounds. But I tell you what, I like what I see, what we've been doing the last couple of weeks. We find ways to win the ball game. They don't look real pretty right now, but we're fine-tuning that thing to get ready for conference play, which will be coming up in a couple, 3 weeks. But now this week,
no,
we're not
teasing this. No, we're not talking about this yet.
No, I want Al. Do you think
Yes, sir.
do you think who they were playing this week affected their play? Maybe they were thinking a week ahead, saying we're going to see the boys next week.
I think Coach Cozy really has these guys focused and they got blinders on. They take one game at a time. I really don't think they thought beyond that. I think what it is, I mean, they're still trying to work out the kinks of the offense. They got a lot of tight ends in the passing game. The tight ends caught 10, 11 passes, that back out the backfield, which I think is one of the most challenging routes, that wheel route for running backs. Linebackers in college, high school, college, and even pro football have a rough time with that route. We caught a touchdown out of that one. So I think we're just trying to fine-tune where we are. But no, I don't think we look beyond these guys. But now every time we line up, we expect to win. And back in 1979, we played these same Hurricanes. Vince Coleman kicked the field goal. We beat them 16-13. Wow. And they had a boatload of #1 picks on that football team, to include Jim Kelly.
Mm-hmm. Whoa, well, Jim Kelly.
Yeah, Jim Kelly. Now, and that was, I think, oh my God, who was the coach at Miami that really brought it home?
Howard Schnellenberg.
Howard Schnellenberg, his first year at Miami. Now, we're going to tease it. We're not going to listen. We'll talk about that when we start talking about this stuff. But before we get to Benny's college picks, right? We're talking about Overreaction Wednesday. All right, here's my overreaction. Everyone see this helmet right here? LSU Fighting Tigers. Benny had him. It's my team. You know what my overreaction is? See you later. Bye, Brian Kelly. You're out of here. You're gone. We just threw your helmet away. You're not on the program anymore. They lose a game. It's a tough game. They're playing a ranked team. I understand they're playing USC. But my God, Al and I talked about it. Benny, you and I talked about it as well. They go for it. They give up the points opening drive, right? They try to punch it in. Then they tie it up, and their receiver, Kieran Lacey, who had a good game. Man, he starts with the gun, and they call a penalty, an unsportsmanlike penalty. What happens? They kick off from the 20, not the 35. They give Zachariah Branch, who is electric for USC. He gets it his own 15, almost runs it back. 3 plays later, they're in the end zone. That changes the whole complexion of the game. It just does. Every time the LSU place kicker was kicking off, it was in the end zone and through the end zone. They did not return one kick. You're going to tell me that didn't change the game? It sure did.
Well, just what Fred Dean said. LSU was supposed to have one of the best offensive lines in the country, and you said it to me. They can't even run the ball. Emery's lost for the season. ACL. He gone. Is? Yes, today.
Oh
ACL.
My God! Well, there goes their running attack.
So that was one part of the game they thought they were going to control, and they couldn't do it. Especially USC couldn't have got that much better since last year, because last year it was like a sieve. They just let everybody score points last year. So hey, they were up 27-20. I was sitting in my chair saying, okay, looking pretty good. And they let him score two touchdowns.
Well, listen, one of our subscribers and frequent viewers, Stu's out there in California. He's loving it. He was giving me the business on the text message. I know you're bummed, buddy, but something, I got to give it up to him. Miller Moss made the throws, right?
He played an excellent game, the quarterback.
Played an excellent game. Taking over for a Heisman Trophy winner, #1 pick, Caleb Williams. Did it in the bowl game. Did it again in the game against LSU. But we'll see what happens. They play Utah State. I'm not going to tease it. Benny likes Utah State and the points. But so real quick, Al, we just want to get your take on the opponent this week, and then we'll come back. We'll go to with Benny's picks and talk a little college football with just Benny. But you got Miami now. You got the Hurricanes. This is a team that has a potential Heisman Trophy winner in Cam Ward on it. They absolutely blew out Florida last week. That 34-17 wasn't as close as it really, it was a lot worse than that. They got a great offensive line. They're big. They're physical. They've got NFL players up and down that roster. I know you guys are going into this game. We don't want to lose. Man, let's just not get anybody injured and ruin our FCS season. I mean, what are you looking for? I know you're going to say the right things, but.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. Just like I said earlier, every game we go into, we expect to win. Now, obviously, I think this Miami team we may be playing the national champions, or we definitely playing a playoff-bound team. Absolutely. And they improved their football program across the board, especially at quarterback. And I think he provides the kind of leadership. The guys believe in him. You could see that on the field against the Gators on last Saturday. So we got our hands full. We know that. What I like to be able to see us do, go in and showcase our skills, do the things that we do well, try to execute against a good, fast, quick, aggressive defense. And then on defense, try to see if we can stop and contain a quarterback at least a little while. Now, that being said, I like to see our guys not get hurt. Obviously, it's what we used to call a money game. We go out here and play this game, get great exposure. These guys can get a feel for how they line up against the best in the country, and let's see how it plays out. We don't want to get anybody hurt. We want to make sure that we get this exposure, and then we off next week, and then we play Troy the following week, and then we got the conference run. So I think it's important to get the skills. Everybody should get a chance to play, and hopefully everybody get under the big lights against probably a magical team, one of the most magical teams that we're going to see this year.
Well, Al, we wish you the best. We'll be tuning in like we do every single week to you and Melvin, but we're probably going to be watching. It's going to be on ESPN. There's no doubt. It's going to be shown on TV, so we're going to be checking that game out. So we wish you all the best as you make your travels down to Coral Gables, Florida.
Going to the bottom. Going to the bottom.
Enjoy it, Al.
We'll plan to.
Have a good
fantastic
trip.
week, Al. Have a great call on the game. We'll be catching up with you next week. We got Willie Simmons at Duke. We got him next week. So safe travels down and best of luck against the Canes.
All right, buddy. Y'all be safe. Take care. Be safe.
See you, Al.
Take care, Al.
All right. That was Al Chester. He's got a big one this week. He's got Benny. He's got the Hurricanes. This is oh boy.
They were impressive. They really were impressive. I mean, I know Florida's not as good as they normally are, but they're still an SEC team.
Yeah.
They're tough. They're tough down there. No one goes down there and dominates like they were dominated. They, like you said, it was worse than what the score showed.
All right. So listen, before we go to break, we gotta run the picks. I know.
I know. You got to run the picks.
I'm not beating up on you, Ben. 1-4. I know. Go ahead.
It's not how you start. It's how you end.
It's how you finish. I get it. But and you
like
started
golf.
Tough last year too. It was a tough start. You took your West Virginia Mountaineers, Garrett Green. Unfortunately,
seven in a row. 7 in a row they lost to Penn State.
If Garrett Green is going to the Manning football camp, he needs to go back. He needs to go back because it didn't work against Penn State, right? LSU, my God, forget about them. You bet against your Notre Dame Fighting Irish. You won't be doing that this year. Dame. And Clemson laid an egg in the second half against Georgia. But this week, let's look at some of your 3-star picks this week, and tell us, give us a good 5. We're going to go 5-0 this week, Ben. So tell us off the top who's going to do it.
All right. Well, one of my themes is I like taking home team underdogs.
Okay.
So I'm gonna Georgia Tech. They won. They won in Ireland. They came home, won again. I'm going to take Syracuse plus the points at home, plus the 3 points.
All right.
The Orange Men, I think after this week, you'll really be able to get a feel of who's who. Like if Georgia Tech goes in there and beats Syracuse, they're for real. But I like Syracuse plus the points at home. They have a pretty good squad this year.
Well, actually, Ben, the Ohio State transfer, Kyle McCord, had a nice opening game for the Orange last week. So I like that pick. Which about your second? What about your second 3-star pick?
All right, I'm going to go with Bob's Auburn Tigers, man.
Bob's listening right now. Bob better be listening.
Minus 13.5 against California. California is going to be coming across the state. They're gonna have to go to Auburn, really tough place to play. Auburn, more than 2 touchdowns better.
Well, I was going to say they blew out a lesser opponent last week. Hugh Freeze, I'll tell you one thing: give this guy a couple years. He turned Ole Miss around pretty quick, and now it's not cheating anymore. Ben, you get that NIL money. He can build that Auburn roster pretty quickly. And I like this game. This is going to be a heck of a ball game right here. This third pick here.
Okay, I'm going with Nebraska. The Raiola kid had a very good game.
Mm-hmm.
They expect great things from this kid. Colorado has 2 of the best football players in the nation, but that's about it. He tried to bolster the line, whatever that means.
Oh, you can't say bolster, right? He didn't understand that.
They were kind of didn't have a running game.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't stop the other team. Nebraska at home. This is a revenge game. They had a Rule and Dion had a little thing last year. Something was said and Rule took exception. Rule's an excellent college football coach. He took his shot in the NFL, didn't work out, went back to where he belonged.
Mm-hmm.
Some guys are like that. One of my favorite guys, it was like that. South Carolina. my Notre Dame coach.
Yeah, Lou Holtz.
Lou Holtz.
Didn't work out for Nick Saban too well with the Dolphins either, but he
right.
found his footing when
some
he
guys
came back.
just see, but I think Nebraska will definitely win by more than a touchdown because Colorado, they won't stop anybody. But they do have the best college football player in the nation, Hunter.
Travis Hunter. One pick last week, a fantastic pick, and then 3 touchdowns and 132 yards on 7 receptions.
A lot of tackles. I think they said he played like 37, 40 plays in a row.
Yeah.
You know, the guy's all over the field.
He won't be doing the NFL though, I guarantee you.
So those are my 3-star games.
All right, let's go to the
Syracuse,
2-star
Auburn,
games.
Nebraska.
Let's go to the 2-star games.
All right. I don't know if this is a little bounce off of what happened to me last week, but I like Appalachian State plus 16.5 against Clemson. Offensively, Clemson, nowhere to be found. Their quarterback, Dabo's got to do something. They just don't. They don't do it. He missed a lot of wide open plays.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense is very good. Their defense is very good. That was a 6-0 ball game at half, and they just got run over in the third quarter. So I'm Appalachian State's usually a good offensive team. Usually put up points. Famous beat Michigan that year. They always give big time schools hard time. So I like Appalachian State plus the 16.
The Mountaineers, you're taking the Mountaineers and the points.
That's right. And the Mountaineers. I got the Mountaineers again this week. After last week. Now
this one's I kind of like this pick now. Stu's out there. Stu in California is not going to like what you say about this one, but go ahead, give it to me.
I'm gonna go with Utah State plus 28. You figure if USC gives up 21 or more, that means they got to score over 50. And I don't know if there's enough time in the game. They might win the game, but I think Utah State is definitely going to hang with 28 points.
Now, Ben, just let you know, last week you took the Mountaineers, they lost. You also took the Texas A&M Aggies, they lost.
Yep,
Utah
against
State's
my
the
Notre
Aggies.
Dame Fighting Irish.
They're the Aggies too. Utah State. Let's see what happens. Now, we do have a listener out there. We have some people in Louisiana checking out tonight's show. We got my man Donnie. He's a big LSU Tiger fan. Donnie, we're counting on you out there for the Tigers. His buddy Adrian AP from Knoxville, Louisiana, is saying the lock of the week is the Oklahoma State Cowboys, the Mike Gundy, the Fighting Gundys, given 7 against Arkansas. He loves the Cowboys. He likes the Pokes. What do you say?
I don't know. I was leaning towards Arkansas. You know,
it's in Stillwater
in a close game. They looked pretty impressive last week. Oklahoma State, they got a great running back.
Ollie
so
Gordon.
They may control, but I can't just change my mind. I'll go with Arkansas plus the points in that game.
All right, and then we got 2 more games just to wrap it up. I know we don't have Tony with the graphics here, but these are 2 really big games. These are national implication games. You've got Boise State. You got the Broncos traveling to Eugene, Oregon to take on the Ducks, who did not look impressive, Benny.
Did not.
10 points over Idaho. I watched the whole game.
Did not. And now they got a Boise State team coming in whose running back scored 6 touchdowns.
6 touchdowns.
So 18.5 points. If they get that kind of a running game, they may be able to control it, keep it close the whole way, if not win. I know you love Oregon. Love Oregon.
That's my pick to win the national championship. Dylan Gabriel had a great game, but they couldn't break it open.
Yeah, they couldn't break it open. They moved up and down the field and kept making stupid. Well, it could be new quarterback in a new situation, you know.
Well, now you also got, this is the marquee game of the week. You got the SEC Big Ten matchup. You got the Texas Longhorns. You got Sarkisian going to the Big House against the Michigan Wolverines, who even won the game 30-10. Ben, you look at it, you go 30-10. What? It wasn't that much of a blowout. It was close. It was
a 1-score game. They were marching. They were inside the 10-yard line, and he throws an out, and the All-American defensive back from played it great, and he picks it off and runs 96 yards. And that's how instead of the game being tied or a 1-point game, they're down by 14, 13. You know,
yeah. So you 20. you like Texas though taking
I would lay the 7 in Texas.
All right.
You know, I looked at it. It lost a lot of parts. Mm-hmm. their defense played pretty good, but Texas is a strong team. They even losing their 2 running backs, they were pretty good. Manning played pretty well from what I read. He got time. So I would lay the touchdown.
Sarkisian has stocked the cupboard at Texas.
Yeah.
Now they're becoming like a top 5 recruiting thing. Before we get out of here in college, and we're going to bring back after the commercial, we're going to talk NFL opening week of the NFL. A couple big ones. We got Boston College with a nice win, 28-13. A lot of people had the Seminoles saying, Georgia Tech was an abolition. We're going to go back and we're going to beat up on BC. Great running game by Boston College. Bill O'Brien, that was really good. You had Alabama. You had Kalen DeBoer, 62-0 in his opener against Western Kentucky. Things will get more difficult, but Iowa, a team that you said never scores any points, you were right. They put up 34 in the second half without their coach.
34 in the second half. They haven't done that in a century.
They don't score 34 points in 3 games in a row. Yeah, never mind that. Right. You got Travis Hunter. We talked about a little bit. Mm-hmm. How about the Arizona connection? Noah Fafita throws for over 406 TDs, and his Tutoria McMillan, 304 yards and 4 touchdowns, broke a record at Arizona.
So he threw for 422 yards, 304 to 1 receiver. What was the defensive coach on the other team thinking?
Well, they were playing New Mexico. I don't think Bronco Mendenhall had that in the playbook. But listen, we're going to go to a break right now. We're going to come back with your NFL picks, your opening NFL picks. So everyone out there, check it out. Stay tuned. We got more Benny the Book after this.
Forever 24 Fit, Leland's only gym with 24-hour access. Get fit when it's convenient, utilizing Life Fitness, cardio, and weight machines. And for those of you who prefer free weights, there is a free weight area as well. Start your membership today and get on your way to a better you. 6 Happiness. Enjoy fresh Asian cuisine in a relaxed and friendly atmosphere where we believe good times deserve great food. Featuring the best sushi chefs in the Leland area. So come on in and we guarantee you will be delighted.
Welcome back to Swartz Talkin Sports. I'm the guy on your left. The guy on my right is Benny the Book, the king of Carolina. Well, I don't know, Benny. After last week opening, you don't have the king anymore.
Yeah,
they took the crown, baby. They took it away.
I know. All
right, so look, we got the NFL. We got a big game starting out tomorrow. We got the defending champs, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Baltimore Ravens.
Three good games to start the year off. All 6 teams got to be considered to win to get to their championship games, Well,
before we get to the picks, let's get your picks on who's going to be the division winners in the AFC and the NFC, and who do you think is going to ultimately get to the Super Bowl and who's going to win it. So let's have our amazing Tony throw up some graphics and let's have Benny tell him what's going on.
Yeah, the AFC East, I'm going with the Jets just because of their defense. Miami's got a great offense. They lost a lot of players. I guess you could never count Buffalo out with Allen, but they lost a lot of defensive players. So I think the Jets are going to represent the East.
Okay.
Now in the North, it's going to be a tough one. I'm going to go with the Ravens again. I love the coach. They got Derrick Henry to help the quarterback. He should take some stuff off from him. I go with the Ravens, but it could be close. Cleveland might be there, but what
about the Bengals if they sign Jamar Chase? I think that the Bengals
if they sign Jamar Chase, I don't know.
Joe Burrow, you got a chance, man. Anytime you got Mr. Burrow, number 9 back there, I mean, you always got a shot.
Yeah, but you got to worry about injuries with him. Yep. And they lost their running back, and they could get off to a rough start. And you don't want to. Once you fall behind, it'll be hard to catch up.
So you like C.J. Stroud in Houston winning the South?
Yes, I do. Yes, I'm very impressed with that team. They only got stronger, made some good trades.
They got Stephon Diggs now.
You gotta like them. The kid was for real. That wasn't just a one year wonder. Yeah, he's for real.
Played well. And you
Played
got,
well.
obviously, you got
The
Patrick
Chiefs.
Mahomes. As long as he's there, like Fred Dean said,
Yep.
as long as Mahomes is there, they're always going to be in the mix.
That's right. That's
All
right.
right.
But I don't think they're going to get back there for the third year.
Wow. Okay. All right.
I'm going to pick it's going to be a rematch, and I think Jackson's going to do it this time.
Wow. Okay. So you like the Baltimore Ravens
In
out
the
of the
AFC.
AFC to dethrone the defending champ Kansas City Chiefs. All right. Let's look at Benny's picks in the NFC. And let's go, Ben. NFC East.
Well, I got to go with Philadelphia. My Giants are going to be horrible this year. Your New England team's bad, but the Giants might be worse.
Yeah.
It's sad listening to all the people talk about them. I swear.
I know.
They go how they lost their best offensive player, and they lost the player from a team that wasn't that good.
Yeah.
So I think Philadelphia is going to rebound.
You think they beat Dallas? You think, with the Dallas they signed CD Lamb? Okay.
They could sign whoever they want.
What if they bring back Roger Staubach?
Yeah, they could. Philadelphia's offensive line, even though they lost that all pro center,
yep,
they still got four big studs.
Benny, he's doing a podcast making $100 million. No one's paying us to do that.
Oh yeah, he's all over the place.
I know.
I think the best division is going to be the North.
Okay.
NFC North.
Top to bottom.
I'm going to take Green Bay.
A lot of people picking Detroit. Fred says Detroit's going to the Super Bowl.
Hey, they should have won last year.
Yeah.
They should have won.
Yep.
That day, they probably were the better team and just missed. But
okay.
I was very impressed with the way the quarterback for Green Bay played.
I think looked good.
I think he's only going to get better and better. Mm-hmm. That's a theme of Green Bay. They hold those great quarterbacks to play behind somebody great for 3 or 4 years, and then they just got this succession of quarterbacks. It's like a quarterback heaven.
All right, so you like Green Bay, okay?
Green Bay.
In the South, which is
South,
probably the weakest division in football.
I'll go with Tampa Bay again. I mean, that division stinks. So
I agree.
Atlanta.
Maybe
Atlanta.
Maybe
Atlanta, but you don't know.
All right, and
so go Tampa Bay,
the NFC
and then
West,
San Francisco, all the way.
Okay,
all the way. I see them. I see them in Green Bay. I'm picking San Francisco, Green Bay to be in a championship game.
Okay. And
San Francisco going back to the Super Bowl.
And who do you like? This is a rematch of the Harbaugh Bowl back in, I think it was 2013. You got the San Francisco 49ers, quarterbacked by Brock Purdy. They just signed Brandon Ayuk last week.
Yep.
Against the Lamar Jackson-led Baltimore Ravens. John Harbaugh is still there. Who's going to take the Super Bowl?
San Francisco.
The San Francisco 49ers.
You know what a thing that you got to watch about Baltimore is they lost 2 key components on defense.
Mm-hmm.
So McQueen and I think one of their defensive backs. So they were always a defensive team. I mean, so you got to be careful. Offensively, they're probably better. They might not be better defensively. So But I think San Francisco's the machine, and they're going to get it done this year.
I like your pick. I'll say I like the Baltimore pick. I really do. I think in the NFC, it's going to come down to one of 4 teams. It's going to be Philadelphia, Green Bay, Detroit, or San Francisco. I think it's going to be one of those 4. But you know something? Because he's a friend of the show,
I do agree with you.
He was such a great friend, and he was so nice coming on the show. And I really think talent-wise, they're building. If they can keep Jared Goff healthy, I really like the Detroit Lions. Now, there's going to be a lot of pressure for the first time probably since forget about Barry Sanders. I can't even remember the last time that people were picking the Detroit Lions to go to a Super Bowl, which would be the first time the Lions have ever been to the Super Bowl. They've been to a championship with Bobby Lane, but they've never been to a Super Bowl in the modern era. So I'm picking the Lions against the Ravens. Mm-hmm. You're picking. Oh, we've got a question. Hold on. Someone just must have piped in and said, I wonder if they're agreeing with the book. So, Joni, are they agreeing with the book?
No, it's a question. Actually, we already covered the Jets. So sorry, I'm mumbling. Let's see. Daniel Kistart, he asks, scouting report thoughts on Rodgers in New York?
Danny, let's hope that he doesn't tear his Achilles in the fourth play. What do you see out of Aaron Rodgers? He's kind of an interesting. He's kind of a weird dude, Benny. And the guy lives in a cave for 40. What's going on with Rodgers?
Yeah. Well, yeah. He's 40 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's a Tom Brady, although he does hide in caves and does other things like Tom Brady does. The thing that bothers me about they got the defense, the offensive line. It all depends. Like Fred Dean said it. When the Giants were great, when they won their Super Bowls, their offensive and defensive lines, they beat Brady because of their defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
The other year they won with Otis Anderson behind that great offensive line that like they control the ball. You win with defense. That's why, San Francisco, big signing, got the best offensive tackle.
Yeah.
They had to do that. So that really bolstered it. Philadelphia, terrific offensive line. You got to go with and Detroit. That's a good sign for Detroit. They got offensive and defensive lines, and they bolstered their defense a lot. But you can't pick them all. So I think San Francisco is going to get there this year.
That was a good question by Danny. By the way, Benny, Danny not happy. He's a big Texas A&M fan, living outside of Dallas. He was kind of bummed that the Fighting Irish.
I'm a little unhappy too, but I didn't care afterwards because my Irish won.
You did,
and that's a big win for them.
So you couldn't lose.
Texas A&M, their quarterback, he didn't have such a good game.
Connor
their defense,
Weigman,
their defense played very well for like 3/4 of the game. And then Notre Dame started what they normally do, running the ball, and the backs started breaking long runs. They always have good backs, Notre Dame. They always do.
Well, Notre Dame's got a really good defense, though.
And the quarterback, he ran
Riley
wild.
Leonard. Yeah,
he ran wild.
Yeah,
he busted up a lot of plays for long runs.
Yeah.
So
nice, good quarterback. Well, we're getting the wrap up. Tony's got
what about the picks? What about the picks for the three picks?
We got to do the pick. We haven't started the picks yet? Oh, God, let's get to the picks.
On.
Let's get to the
picks. All right, you ready?
Everyone's waiting.
Here we go.
The picks.
Opening week. I love the Detroit Lions, minus the 3.5. I love the San Francisco 49ers, minus the 3.5 against the Jets. And
who's Detroit playing? Who's Detroit playing, Benny?
Detroit is playing, I was just looking that up.
The L.A. Rams.
The L.A. Rams.
All right. So you like the Lions against the Rams. Okay.
I like the 49ers at home against the Jets on Monday night.
Oh, that's a big one. Okay.
And this is for you. I'm going to go with the L.A. Chargers.
You're taking Jim Harbaugh's crew
against the Las Vegas. It's going to be all pumped up. Jim Harbaugh's there. It's the quarterback's going to play great. They're going to be all pumped up for the first week.
But look at this. Tony's got the graphics up. It's great. We even have the win-loss at the bottom of this thing. So every week now, everyone's going to know what the book is up to, man. They're going to know if you're up or you're down. I will be in West Virginia on the 21st for the Kansas Jayhawks coming into Morgantown. Yeah. Okay. Well,
let's see. In the Big 12.
Let's see if Jalen Daniels is healthy.
Listen. They lost the first game. Doesn't mean anything. In golf, it's not how you drive, it's how you arrive.
I don't know. I didn't do either the other day. So the only thing about the Chargers that scares me right now is, as I love the addition, I think Harbaugh is a great coach. He's proven it at the college level, at the NFL level. He's done it everywhere he's gone. I love the quarterback, Justin Herbert. I just don't know if he's got weapons this year. He lost both wideouts. He lost the running back. Yeah. Quentin Johnson, I'm not sure he was the great draft pick out of TCU. Now, they got Ladd McConkey, I think, is going to be a star in the NFL. He did it at Georgia. He showed flashes of brilliance in the 7-on-7s and in the preseason. Herbert wasn't quarterbacking a lot. And defensively, they're good. They've got a lot of great defensive players, but they're getting a little older, Benny. Joey Bosa hasn't been healthy in 3 years.
Yeah, no, he's a tough one. He'll play great.
He will.
All of a sudden, he'll walk off the field, and you won't see him for like 2 games.
Exactly.
His
Khalil
toe
Mack.
hurt or something.
Khalil Mack's a good player.
Oh,
Derwin
yeah.
James is a good player. Asante Samuel Jr. is a good player, but they always seem to get hurt, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
Maybe Harbaugh lends him some toughness. I don't know. So, Ben, so you're picking 3 games. This is going to be the 4 games. You got one more pick.
No, I got one more pick.
Yeah, according to Tony, he's not picking these games. He's got the Jaguars.
Oh, yeah, that's
and the
right.
Dolphins.
Yeah. I took the Jaguars plus
Benny's
the points
fabulous
against
4.
Miami.
Come on.
Yes, I forgot. We added that afterwards. Tony told me that we picked 4 games last year. I thought we only picked 5. Yeah, I'm going to take the Jaguars plus the points at they're at Miami.
So the Battle of Florida, you're taking the Jags.
Yeah. They paid the boy a lot of money. Could be his breakout year.
I'm taking Tua Tagovailoa.
Okay, you take
I'm taking the Fins, baby.
They lost all the
Fins.
defensive players.
I know they did, but guess what? They're going to outscore everybody. They get Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, the 2 fastest wide receivers in the NFL, running deep routes. They got the tight end over the middle. They got a running back.
Maybe Harbaugh trade for both of those guys after a few weeks.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be a happy guy as a Charger fan. Well, listen, so let's hope that you fare better in the NFL and you have a great second week in college football.
You got to warm up a little bit. You got to,
I know. I know. Hey, listen, we all don't par the first hole.
You got to look and see how to. What? Yeah, I birdied the first hole. Yeah, I birdied the first hole.
Birdied the first hole.
Yeah,
but listen,
birdied the first
before
hole.
we go, a couple of things. We started off the show kind of on a somber note. I didn't know anything about the school shooting, but Swartz Talkin Sports lost a friend and neighbor last week. Benny the Book and I, our neighbor, Dan Burns, who is a real good friend of the show, him and his wife, Suzanne, died unexpectedly last week. Really tough one around the neighborhood, very tough one for everybody here.
So unexpected.
Very unexpected. But we here at Swartz Talkin Sports send out our condolences to his wife, Susan, his son and daughter, and friends and family. If Dan's got a big family, so we're going to be there. We're going to support him the best we can, but really sad when we lose one of our own. So R.I.P. Dan, and we'll be thinking of you. That's for sure.
Yep. Rest in peace.
And then let's end the show on a happy note. The Book's wife, she's not going to be happy with this. She's going to be really mad at me, but we have to say happy birthday to Lisa, the Book's wife. So happy birthday, Lisa Stamili.
Can I call her in here, Les?
Look at that. Look how good you guys look. Look at that.
Can I call her in here?
Yeah, call her in here.
Hold on a second. Lisa, come in here a minute. I want to show you something.
Yeah, I know. She might pull you off the air if she sees this. I don't know.
Come on, please. Hurry up.
Lisa, you got to be here. We're live on the air.
Come on, Lisa. We're live.
She has to see this.
Happy birthday.
So there you go. So happy birthday, Lisa, from everyone here at Swartz Talkin Sports. Listen, next Wednesday, 8 p.m., Duke running backs and assistant coach Willie Simmons will be here. Can't wait to talk a little Duke football with Benny the Book, Al the Rattler Chester. For everyone in Swartz Talkin Sports, we got Joni, the chat girl. We got Tony the Tiger Smeraldi, Al the Rattler Chester, Benny the Book, and our special guest tonight. Thanks so much to Fred Dean for hanging in there. We had a great show. This is Les Swartz. We'll see you next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Have a great week, everybody.